how sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy and pal, HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live on this Thursday evening. It is it's a weird week. There's no Star Wars to talk about. It's kind of awkward, but nonetheless, there's still plenty to nerd out about. Speech not the best today. If you're new here, welcome. Like, subscribe, interact with each other in the comments. Here on HeyArcher Live, we just nerd out. Sit down, pour ourselves a drink, and at least, I hope you pour yourself a little bit
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Oh yeah, all right. So, on today's show, we have this is weird one. Sal is joining us today. I'll let him into the chat in just a little bit. But Sal has been on Nerd Affiliated as a channel for like 2-3 months already. And in our group chat, I was like, does anybody want to join live? He said, yeah, I will. It'll be my first time. And I was like, what? You've not been in a live show before? So we're correcting that mistake today. We're just going to sit down. For a lot of you, this may be your intro into Sal, unless you just watched, the trailer reactions and all of that. So we'll talk to him, see what he's enjoying. He also finished Peacemaker today. We'll do no spoilers on the last episode because I have not seen it. I'm assuming some of you have not seen it. Of course, after the show, head over to Nerdgenic on YouTube. Aaron Waller's doing a watch party on the finale of Peacemaker. But as they like to say, by they I mean us, without further ado, we're going to bring in the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sal, in the house. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Awesome. We got that on the first try. I think we're a little... What was it?
My video was shicey.
No, I think that might be me. I might be exhausting my bandwidth right now. But last time, when we were talking before the show, yours cleared up over time, so it might just be me. But welcome, sir. Again, weird that you've not been on the show before. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Welcome to the big show.
Exactly. You're done doing the house shows. Now you're on the big show. Let's see. So
it's Thursday night, so I made it to Thunder.
Exactly. You made it to Thunder. You did. We have Paxmas in the house. Good to see you. We got Anthony in the house. Good to see all of you. Aaron Waller in the house. Good to see you. Hobbies with Jose back in the house. I think this is 2 weeks in a row? Maybe 3 weeks in a row. It's good to see you. And Pax is saying that there's a slight echo. So let me check my settings. It might be me. But
I got an echo. I got an echo on my headset too.
Oh, you do? All
Not
right.
so bad. Yeah, on your end.
Do you hear me echoing as well?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that. All right. We'll mess around with some settings. But with that being said, in case anybody is meeting you here for the first time, why don't you tell us, what is it that made you a nerd? What was that entryway? What did it for you?
What did it for me? It's a combination between having an older cousin.
Mm-hmm.
It's Iron Man, Civil War. Watching pro wrestling as a kid, loving the movies.
Yeah.
All of it.
Nice. Oh, it looks like it cleared up. So it may have been my computer, in fact. So thank you all for dealing with that. Technical difficulties, part of the show, as you all know. I'm just gonna move these down here.
We expected it.
So pro wrestling was on that list there. Were you team WWF or you team? I'm not gonna say WWE. I refuse to say WWE. So, were you team WWF or were you team WCW back in the day?
Oh, got the bang, baby.
There you go.
Oh. I like both, but I was a
Yeah.
big WCW fan, big Diamond Dallas Page fan,
Yeah.
big Sting fan,
Yeah.
Black and White and Surfer.
There you go. We were talking about that on one of the Hey Archers. Such a great build-up. Such a great build-up. But, yeah, everybody's saying the video's better, the audio's better. So, yeah, that must have just been me. I apologize, all of you. Cheers to all of you on that. So, you mentioned Civil War. So, and by the way, everybody, let me know how the music is. I'm trying something different, too. In the realm of comic books, I feel like we're doing either right now. This is fun. Were you on the DC side? Was it the Marvel side? Like, what was it that brought you into the nerd world?
Oh man, it was Marvel that brought me in.
Mm.
You know, all the Rob Liefeld stuff with the big pouches and the big gun and the even bigger muscles.
Mm-hmm.
But like the way my favorite characters are split up, it could really go like either way. Big Green Lantern fan, big Green Arrow fan, big Cap, big Iron Man fan.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
you know, there's merits on both sides.
Were you when it comes to the so that was you in comic books, but the TV shows back then? I mean, were you on DC side? Were you on Marvel's side? Like what was taking the cake for you on that one?
And one of my oldest memories of going to the movie theater was Masks of Phantasm.
Oh, you got to go see that in theaters? I'm jealous.
Yeah. My cousin was pretty cool. My cousin took me to all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mask of Phantasm, I remember seeing. Marvel, I remember watching the X-Men TV show, the animated series as a kid, and Spider-Man and Batman. It was kind of like whatever I could get my hands on.
Mm-hmm.
And then Justice League Unlimited just blew it out of the water.
Oh, legendary. Absolutely legendary. It was, I remember, I feel like I was pretty much DC throughout when it came to the animated stuff, but there was some sort of a lore to the Marvel, because with Marvel you had X-Men and Spider-Man, but then there was like Sunday mornings you had Iron Man, you had Fantastic Four, and like I could never watch them because I was always at church. So like I was always like, oh, Marvel's like that untouchable thing. I can never like I couldn't consume all of Marvel until I was, much older.
See, the Marvel stuff after that, I don't know. So yeah, so I know the Iron Man TV show, I know Fantastic Four and the Hulk, and I think in Spider-Man, I think they were all kind of like tied together.
Yeah.
And like, they would all cross over. I know Iron Man and Fantastic Four and the Hulk used to cross over all the time. Mm-hmm. And all the stuff after that, like Earth's Mightiest Heroes and those animated series, X-Men Evolution, like stuff around like the 2000s. I don't even really know.
I have to say, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, wonderful. I love that show.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most underrated. And by the way, everybody, let me know if the echo's still there or not. I made a couple more changes. Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I think one of the most underrated, like, animated TV shows out there. It's not. I'm not gonna go as far as say it's top 5. I wouldn't say it's a top 5. Like, there, other shows are like DC still killing it when it comes to that, but Echo's still there. For Sal, not you. All right, I'll mess around with the settings some more. So when it comes to the animated, DC still, to me, always killed it. But Earth's Mightiest Heroes,
of course.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes, a pretty good overall show, I must say. Trying to see what that echo might be.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I got it. I mean, I got Disney Plus. It's all on there.
Mm-hmm.
Just
yeah,
edit it to the box of stuff I got to get around to.
Oh, I'm curious. Is the sound coming out of your TV potentially?
My television?
Yeah.
No, shouldn't be.
Yeah, I wonder what that echo could be. I'll keep messing around with it, but we'll get through it. It's all right. It's part of the charm of the show. It's just the tech difficulties. So yeah, Mask of the Phantasm. I was absolutely like all about trying to see it, and I could not get to the theater to see it. I was so mad. And that was the very first thing I ever had spoiled for me. We were watching Batman the Animated Series. I was at my friend's house, and some episode was playing. Couldn't tell you what episode it was, but my friend's mom was like, "Oh, is this the episode where like his girlfriend ends up being the bad guy?" And I was like, "What? What episode's that?" Because I thought I saw all of them, and then as I'm watching Mask of the Phantasm so many years later, I was like, "Son of a bitch!" I was like, "There it is."
Just ruin the movie for me. There you go.
Yeah. Oh man, I was so mad at that. I'm trying to think, maybe this would do it. Let's see. All right, try talking now. Let's see if there's any echo.
Test. Echo?
All right, everybody, let me know if there's an echo on that one. Because you sound fine to me. You sound fine to me. So it's somewhere in the post settings here. So we'll see if we figured it out. So DC killing it with everything. And of course, I guess I solved it. That's what it was. Sorry, I figured it out. That was my error. It was not him. Peacemaker. I feel like...
Man, thank God. Oh, thank God you touched on that. Because I was going to pull into it if you didn't.
This was all a sound test. Just as a behind-the-scenes video producer thing. I was rambling just now to try to figure out how to fix the echo. Peacemaker, dude. And I asked this last week to Billy when he was on the show, which again... hello. That's like a phantom episode. I can't find last week's episode on any platform, so that's a different conversation. But I felt bad at a certain point. I was looking forward more to Peacemaker every week than Star Wars Book of Boba Fett. Am I crazy, or were you on the same boat there?
There was one point where I'm watching Book of Boba Fett, and it became work. It became like I'm watching this because I need the closure. I got to get through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not the way you should watch anything.
You know,
I love Peacemaker. It's so good.
I mean, the irony there is, you may know this. Some of you may know this. Aaron Waller and myself became friends because we both realized we're the only two people watching Titans every week and reviewing it. And I stopped because I was like, this is too much work. This show is so terrible that this is like torture to watch it every week and have to make a review of it. He kept going, but it's funny how now it's like it flipped. The Disney stuff is the torture, and the DC is the enjoyable. And everybody in the chat, let us know what you think of Peacemaker, of course. But here's the question. Season 2, do you want the same intro or change up?
Oh, that's got to change. I can't see James Gunn doing the same thing.
You can't see the repeat. Yeah.
No, there's going to be a different dance.
Yeah. How do you top that? That's the thing. It's a tough one. That's for him to decide, of course. Pax, you gotta watch Peacemaker. I mean, it may be
it's so good.
It may be a little graphic for your taste, but I'm telling you, you gotta get into Peacemaker. Jose's loving Peacemaker as well. Yeah. So is to you, right? Because I was talking to somebody about this at work today. John Cena to me is actually the highlight of the show, which was a surprise. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah.
To you, is John Cena making the show, or is it kind of like some of the characters? Is it the storyline? Like, what is it that you think is like really attracting you to that show?
So, since it's running at the same time, to directly compare it to Book of Boba Fett, I care about every single character on that show.
Yeah.
There is not a single character in the main team, the
Right.
main Black Ops team,
Right.
that I don't care about. I care about all of them,
Right.
and where they're going with their character growth. Everybody has character growth. How does every main cast have character growth?
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then Book of Boba Fett, we couldn't even get the main character to have growth. It's just everything kind of like stayed in one spot.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I felt. Every episode, with the exception of the two Mando episodes, everything stayed in place.
Yeah.
Like running on a treadmill.
Yeah.
And then you watch Peacemaker, and then it's just moving forward every episode with character growth, with pushing the plot. It's just, ooh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. You want to taste it.
All I want to do is taste it.
You know, the only character, and I don't know if this potentially could spoil anything. I hope it doesn't, but the only character I really want to see more of that I don't feel like I'm getting fulfilled is the old guy next door. Like him being in the intro, I was always like, the old guy. Like I don't know. Like the fact that they even had the janitor from the first episode, I thought was awesome. But I'm like, I want to see the old man do something. And I don't know if this can happen in the last episode, but he's the only one. I'm like, I want more development out of him.
You know, it's funny. Every time I watch, I feel like every episode I watch, I catch something new. And I never noticed that the police chief, the Argus special agent that they planted in as police chief, I never noticed he was in the intro until last week.
Really?
I didn't realize he was the cop behind the Detective Sung.
Yeah. No, and that's that. I mean, even those characters. I mean, the show starts. You're always gonna have like the good guys, the cops that are involved. You know, he's that more ambiguous character for a lot of it. Getting you to care about like such background characters that are just thrown in, impressive, super impressive.
Even Mern was like the stoic special agent type. I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody had their merits.
Yeah. So a question, I guess. Do you want to see an expansion of the DC like live action TV universe? Do you think they should bring in like you like Superman and Lois? You know, we now have Peacemaker. Like, do we keep expanding this with bigger characters? Like, do we go to a Batman now? Or, and I don't know if they'll ever do a Batman, but you know what I mean? Like a big three. Or do you think it's better to keep these kind of like low-line characters, just people that you're like, oh, I didn't even know about this character and I like them now? Like, which route would you take if you were running the show?
If I'm running the show, I would stay away from the CW stuff that they're already doing. They're their own little world. I wouldn't touch that.
You don't think you should cross that over?
I think the DC future is in the premium television. I think it's the DCEU stuff.
Yeah.
Not the CW stuff. I think that's the future of them. Because it's look at what they're doing with Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And that's a crossover from the Suicide Squad. And the Suicide Squad intertwines with the other Snyderverse stuff.
Right.
I don't think they should abandon Snyderverse, especially now, like what Peacemaker's doing. It gives them room to push forward. Gives them a lot of room to push forward.
That's an interesting point, because I feel like a lot of us and chat, definitely let me know. I feel like a lot of us are kind of over the Snyderverse. Like we're just, the Justice League Snyder Cut, we were all pumped for it. I was pumped for it. I feel like it's very divisive as far as do people like it or not. But at that point, I was like, I think we're all kind of done with that DC world. And then this show comes around and kind of mixes it up. So I'm wondering, I'm like, should we revisit that stuff or ignore it? And, maybe Superman shows up, but it turns out it's Superman and Lois Superman. And they don't even acknowledge the fact that he's not the same Superman,
I'm okay with that too. What I am worried about is I'm worried about that scramble that they did the first time around.
Which one?
So the Justice League comes out, Snyder has to step down. They put Joss Whedon in his place, and it's like reshoots. We need more color, more comedy.
Yeah.
We're losing here, and we got to figure out why we're losing, and let's bring in the guy that made them awesome in the first place. But then they did that, and they all try to overhaul everything, and it's screwed up. I'm worried about now. They're seeing how well Peacemaker's doing, and there's another scramble to fix instead of progressing, because I think Peacemaker is just the next step. The start was, I don't remember what came first. The start was, I think, Shazam. Then after Shazam came the Suicide Squad, and Peacemaker's just the next step. And if they just keep taking that trail, you don't got to sprint. It's not a race. We've already realized with Marvel, it's not a race.
Yeah.
Just stay on course, and you'll do fine. You'll win. You know, you have the characters, you have the catalog. You got people who are willing to take your money. You're Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
You know, there's who wouldn't want to work with that studio?
I mean, essentially, what you're kind of wanting to avoid is, for lack of a better phrase, I'll call it the Jon Favreau. Like, Jon Favreau does Iron Man, nobody wants to touch it, knocks it out of the park, and then Marvel's like, hey, so about that Iron Man, we're doing it again, and you're running the whole thing by us first. And that series is dropped off.
Or what about, like, you're the next actor, and they're like, okay, so think about it. Iron Man. No, I'm good. I got to beat Robert Downey Jr. out of Iron Man.
Yeah.
The guy's like casted perfect. Cumberbatch is casted pretty perfect for Strange.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, I don't even know. Steve Rogers, yeah, I could see someone else other than Chris Evans doing it. But it's almost like that Hugh Jackman thing with Wolverine, where it's kind of like, man, how do we? I gotta come up behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you should find yourself another Iron Man. I'm good.
So, why do you? I mean, that's something. Sorry, my contact lens went wild as you were talking, so I'm like constantly blinking right now. I might just take it out. Actually, I'm just gonna do that. Oh, live on the air. There you go. Troubleshooting. Why is it that we can't just have the James Bond moment where the actors just change up? Like, I wish I could figure that out, because don't get me wrong, I agree. Iron Man, Stephen Strange, I think those are Professor X, casted perfectly.
Yeah. Perfect.
Wolverine, Captain America, I think they're great, but I feel like I could also switch them out and be all right. But I can't figure out why it is that we all, like, as fans, like, we're not about that when it comes to these movies, like the Marvel Universe specifically.
Imagine, like, that's a good point you make. Imagine being George Lazenby and having to come up after Sean Connery.
Yeah.
That's got to be, like, terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, to the point where I believe Connery was the third James Bond also. I think they brought him back. So now you got to have that on your resume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the second James Bond. They brought back the first guy.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. But here's the other thing too. Like, and maybe it's a universes thing. I was thinking about this the other day, right? Maybe I'll make a clip out of this thing. But I was thinking about it. I was like, it'd be dope if they mix things up, right? Whoever wants to do it first, DC or Marvel. But what if there's a movie where, you know, normally when we deal with multiverse stuff, it's like our characters, you know, are in their world, and then another rift opens up, character from another world comes in here, and then it's like, oh, I'm a fish out of water, but the fish is in, like, our ocean. I was thinking the other day, I was like, they should do it backwards at a certain point. Like, just be like, you know, Wanda's doing whatever, and then all of a sudden she gets pulled into another universe. It's an alternate Marvel universe, different actors, same characters, and then you're just stuck there, and you go forward. And now we go forward in that timeline, and if we come back, we come back. But I feel like that may give you the creative freedom to change up the actors and the actresses, also redo stories, do what if stories, that kind of thing. Am I crazy on that, or is there something maybe to it?
I think there's a way to do it with, I mean, like obviously with the comic books, I think it works better because you're keeping the same color schemes, and there's usually like there's big things that are staying the same.
Yeah.
Wolverine still has the mutton chops and the spiky hair. Cyclops is still going to be blue and gold with the goggles.
Classic.
Cap's always red, white, and blue, so it doesn't make a difference who's wearing it.
Yeah.
You can, like when it comes to that kind of stuff, if you take more of the Fox X-Men approach, where they're wearing black leather and they're wearing more like a team uniform, then I don't see something like that working. That might have some confusion. But if they're more iconic in their costumes, then yeah,
that could work.
I don't think it would make a difference.
That could work. But then too, I think the one thing they were able to figure out that like I think DC for the longest time could not do was they got you to love the actor and the actresses playing the character. Like they became one, versus I think when we got into like a Batman Forever or Batman and Robin, it was like you could care less. You're like, I just want to see Batman at this point. Same city, but I just want to see Batman.
How can Kevin Conroy even be in the conversation for who's the best Batman? You know, to show again.
I just gotta wait. I gotta hit it. Yep. Yeah.
How is Kevin Conroy in the running for that, and he just does the voice?
Yeah.
Right. It's man. It falls in the same lines where we care about these characters and we care about the actors playing these characters. But it's not for all of them. Like Robert Downey, I see to flip it to Marvel, like Robert Downey Jr. gets that. I don't think Chris Evans isn't my Captain America. Like it could be another guy in there.
I don't even think I have one. Like you're saying that, and I don't. It's weird. You're saying that, and I'm like, I don't think I have a definitive Captain America. Like somebody who I'm like, again, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, great show. Chris Evans as Cap, dope. But I don't have. I think if they swapped them out, I'd be okay with it.
This show usually runs anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, right? If we were talking about recasting the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that could take a whole episode, short episode. That could take a 45-minute episode. If we talked about our favorite Batman and who do we cast as our ultimate Batman, that could be the whole episode. One character. Yeah. Could end up being the whole episode. It's Marvel hasn't hit with certain characters. Marvel hasn't hit it.
Yeah.
Superman, we can have that conversation about. Batman, we can have that conversation about. Animated and live action. And the animated guys rank with the live action guys. The top two in Marvel, Cap and Iron Man, we can only do it one.
You sparked a thought. The conversation I don't think has not been had. Who is your definitive Superman?
Go for it.
And right now, I want to say Pax is saying that Chris Evans is Cap for him, which I think it's because he's one of the only ones we've got. We've got that, and then we've got the animated. But as far as Superman goes, I feel like we've got, just to spoil the choices, you have Christopher Reeve, the top ones, I guess we'd say. Christopher Reeve. Oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. Snyder, Superman.
Really?
Oh, God damn it. What's his name? I didn't even count him. It'll come back to me. And Tim Daly, voice of Superman, the animated series. I think it's Tim Daly. Pretty sure it's his name.
Yeah. So
between those two and the one who I shall not name, what's the Harry Potter thing? Pax, jump in on that.
Cavill. It's Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill, yeah. Or Cavill, whichever one. So Henry, Reeves, and Tim Daly. I think those are the top 3 if people were going to debate it.
I'm going to say something controversial yet so brave. How do you not throw Tyler Heckler in there? I think he's so good. He might be my Superman. Yeah, deal with that.
I knew you were going to go for that. I mean, I felt it.
He's so
I felt the
good.
disturbance in the
I love
force.
him. Yes, come roast me in the comments.
Yeah.
Come chat. Come. I'll give him my resignation paper by the end of the week.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't think he's a bad Superman, so I don't want anybody to think that. I think the other guys have just had such a long run. It's hard for me to put him in so early. I mean, it's only been what, 2 years maybe. I don't count Supergirl and the Flash and all that stuff, but I can see it. I can see it for sure. But the other ones, I mean, they're just legendary, you know. Actually, yeah, Pax actually just said it. He said he hasn't earned it enough for me yet.
I agree, but the potential's there because
sure
the Superman pool is so small.
Correct.
Of famous the Superman pool for famous Superman is so small, right? Yeah. George Reeves, Chris Reeve, Brendan Roth, Henry Cavill, Tyler Heckler.
Yeah.
And
Jerry O'Connor from the DC animated universe.
Yeah, Daly. So if we don't count him, I'll level with everybody and say, look, he's too new. He hasn't earned it.
Who are you not counting?
Heckler, Tyler Heckler.
Okay.
If you guys don't want to count him, you're saying he's too new. I disagree with you, but I respectfully disagree with you. And I'll go with Tim Daly. Because Daly, that Superman is also really good. He's got the only problem is he's built like a brick shit house, and
which was ironically
there's no way
that was my issue with Henry Cavill, which after we recorded that episode, I was like, wait a minute, I'm kind of contradicting myself because Tim Daly's Superman, massive.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
And no, it's fine. But they draw him the same size as Batman, which I always thought was kind of weird. They draw him just as big. Mm-hmm. There's that one episode. I don't know if it's the one Anthony was talking about a couple weeks ago, with the Riddler and Bane and Batman and Superman switch places.
Yeah.
Batman sends Superman in his place.
Yeah.
How do you not tell? Like, how do you not tell? At least tell that something's off.
That was such a good episode. I forgot about that.
Bigger. That's such a good episode. I love it. Where Bane walks up and punches him in the face and just eats it.
Yeah.
And then he launches Bane across the room.
Yeah. And that, I remember that.
Normally taking that shot would like cripple Batman.
Yeah. 100%. And I remember as a kid watching, at that point, that was the New Adventures, I think. So at that point, I'm probably in high school. I remember thinking, I was like, oh shit. I was like, they touched that moment where they're willing to show that the villains are willing to kill the main character. Like everything else is like whatever, I'm going to do whatever to you and put you in this trap and whatever. But when he decked him thinking that he was Batman, I was like, oh shit. Like they actually, for some reason, this is the first time I've been like, oh, they're actually willing to kill Batman.
That's like the ultimate Batman moment.
Yeah.
So Anthony and I have had this conversation before. Each Batman has a different approach.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Conroy's Batman is kind of perfect.
Yeah.
He could do just about everything, and it's animated, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
Right. And you get Michael Keaton's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Keaton he's more of like the thematic, the drama of Batman, the theater
mm-hmm.
of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You shoot him, he just stands back up.
Right.
But he falls.
Right.
He dives off the building, he's gone.
Yeah.
Christian Bale didn't do that. Christian Bale was urban commando. I'm just gonna punch forward, going right through you every time.
Yeah.
And so you get these different sides of Batman. And watching that episode, you get that like the man, it's like the most Batman thing you could do. Just big beefy guy who nobody puts him down, hits Batman in the face and he eats it.
Yeah.
Now you start to think this guy's a nightmare again. You start to think, is he? I always thought he was a man. Is he a man? How does he take this shot? There's no armor there.
Yeah. It's
Pretty
by
cool.
the way, Pax, I'm gonna address your comment. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you, but I think a funny moment, and I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it happens in the episode, but eventually he's getting like shot with fire or something. Either way, the bat suit disintegrates, and he's wearing the Superman suit underneath it with the cape and everything. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm fine with it. You know what? This series is so good. I'm fine with it. It's all right.
So to go back just to one thing, the comparing Superman to Batman in size.
Yeah.
If you want to check that out, there's the first crossover episode where Batman chases the Joker into Metropolis.
Oh yeah, we're talking about that. I think last week or the week before. Such a good episode.
Yeah, where he's chasing him for the sliver of kryptonite.
Yep.
And he throws Superman. First thing he does is throw Superman across the room.
Yep.
They're standing face to face. They're same build, same height.
Yeah.
You know.
And that I remember there was
outlandish.
There was some comic book of Batman like bench pressing, and it was like he's bench pressing like a ton, like he was just that built, which was always weird to me because they always made him built, but yet almost as agile as Dick Grayson. Not quite, but almost there, which was always kind of weird to me. But I gotta hit this comment real quick.
Sure.
And I forgot to even mention the man, Dean Cain. Where do you?
Dean Cain was pretty solid too. From what I remember, I mean, I know that was more like the soap opera Superman,
right?
Him and Terry Hatcher, but he, for a little guy,
yeah,
he had the look. Because I don't think Dean Cain's very big. He's got to be like 5'5" at best, with like platform shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
But he looked the part.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, Paxmas is with the bangers today. Isn't Batman bigger than Superman in size?
Get him, Pax.
I'm not going to say that man's name, Pax. I just saw your recent comment on that stupid show. I'm not going to say it. But there was, I don't remember what conversation this was in my nerd history, but somebody was bringing up the point how Batman should be technically bigger than Superman because, and some artist drew it this way at some point, but like Superman doesn't like work out. Like Superman's just strong. Like he's just there. So, but Batman does. So it's always like this thing of like, oh, Batman should be bigger and more brolic. Superman, the more George Reeves look to him. Just a dude, you know, but taller, to your point.
That goes back to another thing that always comes up whenever I talk about Superman, comparing Superman to Batman. That Superman, I call him, depends on how he's written. Sometimes he's ultra intelligent, and sometimes he's Captain Punchy. He just tries to punch harder and punch faster and get his way through things.
Yeah.
And Batman knows all this kung fu, and Batman actually work out. So the radiation rate, the solar radiation should just hit him and charge him. He probably shouldn't be built. He should probably still be like really lean and still be just as strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe, hey, you know what? If DC lets us write a story, maybe that's our thing. Is we're like, Superman eventually runs into somebody that he can't beat because he hasn't been working out. He's just been riding the wave of just being strong by default. Or actually, a good build is what's his face from The Boys. Like I think that's a reasonable build for a present day Superman.
Oh, Tony, oh man, can't remember his last name.
Yeah.
So someone will get me in the chat.
That's a show I got to watch.
But yeah, no, you haven't seen it?
I'm not season 2.
My God,
I started season 2 and I just didn't finish it.
So season season one, season two is better. The ending of season one is better. Season two, it's kind of
Really?
hard. It's kind of hard to top. Yeah, it's hard to top the way season one ends. But
Yes.
I think season two is all around better.
Interesting. I think you know what?
Yeah.
I think by the time that came out, I was like entering like superhero fatigue. I was kind of like
Okay.
between that, Umbrella Academy, all the other shows that we watch. I was kind of like, all right, I got no other bandwidth at the moment because I feel like I feel like season 2 came out like what 2020, 2019 into 2020 probably.
Yeah, they're really between them and Umbrella Academy. They're really behind. I've been waiting on them.
And Umbrella Academy, it's funny. I watched part of season 1, I think. I didn't finish it.
Mhm.
And then Amanda wanted to watch it, or I don't know how we started to watch it. And all of a sudden I was like, oh wait, this is like a really good show. And then we watched season 2 and I was like, wow. I was like, this is actually a very good show. And I like wrote it off.
Season two is significantly better than season one.
100%.
Not saying season one is bad, but season two is significantly
Way
better
better.
than season one of Umbrella Academy.
Way better. So which of the two shows we'll end on that. Which of the two shows is better? The Boys or Umbrella Academy?
I like the boys. I like the boys a lot.
Yeah. Last question. Dread 2, yes or no?
Oh my God. I had a curveball for you,
Uh.
and I think you might have beat me.
Well, what's your
I was gonna
curveball
end
before
it
you
with
answer it?
something. Okay. I was watching Mad Max Fury Road before just before dinner tonight,
Yeah.
right?
Black
Now,
and white or the color
imagine
version?
color version.
Mm.
Now imagine I love Mad Max. I love the whole series, right?
Yeah.
Now, I was reading that Mad Max Fury Road, the video game and the comic are their own thing that George Miller approved of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he directed the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the first three movies are their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're two separate worlds. Now imagine the second series, right? With Tom Hardy. Imagine that because of all the heavy metal iron Man of War stuff with the muscle cars. That is a post-apocalyptic Fast and the Furious universe
I would love that.
where now you got these guys like I don't even like those fucking movies, but you got a guy like Dom Toretto, right? And
Yeah.
Dom Toretto is like you're in Morton Joe,
Yeah.
where it's all about gasoline and the cars and the muscle. And
Yeah.
since you have Fast and the Furious, where that world already exists,
Yeah.
in their own little pocket, you take that, you pump it to the extreme, you make it times 1,000.
They went to space
You
in the
throw some
last one.
nuclear
How much
bombs in
more
there.
extreme? Time travel.
But you know what can make it more extreme? Yeah, time travel.
Yeah.
You know what can make it that much more extreme? You're making it a post-apocalyptic wasteland,
Yeah.
and they're living off gasoline.
Yes.
They're loving it.
That would be
Guzzling.
amazing. The only reason I think that wouldn't work, is he'd have no buildings to have cars jump off of onto another one at this point. It'd be a lack
Yeah,
of
but the
setting
giant
for
car
him.
battles and
Oh yeah, for sure.
the giant car battles and the jumping back and forth and
Yeah.
oh man, yeah. So watching Fury Road was like, could you imagine if this was the
Combined.
Fast and Furious universe?
We might as well combine
Post-apocalyptic, yeah.
everything. We might as well combine Fast and Furious with Mad Max, with the Expendables,
Mhm.
and with Jurassic Park. Might as well at this point.
Because that's what Fast and Furious is missing: dinosaurs.
It is. It is. So, going back to the question, and by the way, General Kenobi, so the black and white version, it came out around the same time as Logan did black and white. And I remember I downloaded them both. And I think at that point, you had to choose in iTunes, you have to choose if you wanted the black and white or the regular one. I think now it's the same. But I watched it. I watched both movies black and white and made it like a quarter of the way through and was like, this does nothing extra for me. So I think it's a
That's
gimmick
like
grab.
I almost put on Justice is Gray, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
One, I gotta put aside another 4 hours to watch it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think this adds to it at all.
Yeah.
I can't see this doing any more for me.
We definitely need Godzilla and Kamen Rider as well in the Fast and Furious universe. Why not?
And Ultraman.
Yeah, and Ultraman. But the question, Dread 2, yes,
Yeah.
no.
Carl Urban.
Right. Oh, 100%. 100%. This is not Dread 2 with Sylvester Stallone. Like, if he wants to cameo, it's fine. But right now, to me, Dread is Carl Urban, not Sylvester Stallone. Maybe that's a hot take. I'm not sure.
You're not throwing me like a fucking curveball or anything, right? There's nothing.
No. I mean, did you not see Dread?
Dread 2. I loved it. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That movie
Underrated.
was excellent. Yeah.
Super underrated.
Hell yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
That movie, man, between like I understand why John Carter didn't get a sequel, because John Carter, they didn't give it like the promotion it was supposed to. Disney just kind of like put it out there and said, "Hey,
right.
here's a movie." Besides John Carter, which I think should get a sequel because that movie is dope as hell.
Really? Not
Dread.
seen it.
Yeah, Dread. Not seen it? No, dude, it's good. Yeah, Princess of Mars is pretty awesome.
But you're going Dread 2.
Yeah, Dread 2.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was, one, too far removed from the original one, but two, I think it came out around the same time as Conan, and I think people didn't like that Conan with Jason Momoa. I didn't mind it, but I think it was too close, and people were like, "Oh, it's another crappy remake." The only gripe I have with Dread is that it rips The Raid. It's the same plot; they just steal it, but I mean, I still thought it was a good movie.
The Conan movies I didn't care for, and even if all right, well, it's a Korean movie. This is an American movie. Every movie ever. There's nothing original anymore. Every movie ever is taken from something else.
I mean, Star Wars was just freaking rips for the last 15 years anyway. Well, sir.
Maybe like not a single blockbuster. Yeah, not a single blockbuster of the last 20 years has been an original IP.
I feel like there was something that came out and we were all talking about how it was a different story, and now I can't remember. It'll come back to me. It's
all right, end of the show. See you guys around. See ya.
Well, with that being said, sir, again, awkward conversation because we talk all the time and somehow you've not been on the live show and I didn't catch that. So to all of you, to you, Sal, I apologize. But in case anybody's seeing you for the first time, how can they find you? Do you have anything come down the pipe? As I like to say, plug yo shit.
You can catch me on Nerd Affiliated. I'm one of the affiliated over here on YouTube. You can catch me on Twitch, Carpe Noctem 727. Here on Nerd Affiliated, I do a little thing called a snap. Take different pieces of media, snap my finger like I'm wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, try to fix it, try to make it better. I got a Book of Boba Fett episode that I'm trying to snap it. Anthony and I discussed Green Lantern and Batman Forever. There was a Batman Forever concept video that we did after we decided not to officially snap it, and we discussed why and what we could change. Green Lantern is going to be along the same lines. I got a whole like write up on that Anthony and I are going to talk about. And if I'm here with you guys. I'm here at HeyArcher Live. I'm here with Rambling with Anthony.
And the Snapshot.
And the Snapshot.
I was thinking,
this is my own personal blog.
I feel like you are now the trailer reaction guy. Like, I think that'll just.
I forgot all about it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was thinking What?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, I forgot all about it. Yeah, you could check me out. I do trailer reactions here at Nerd Affiliated. I've done 2, and I kind of like it.
Yeah. And
check them out. They're here catch them down on the bottom.
Yeah. I this is like a creator thought I was having on the drive in. Actually, I was like, oh, I feel like certain segments here are gonna go to certain people. Like, I feel like you've been doing the trailer reactions. I just got to figure out what Anthony and I do. Maybe Anthony does the podcast stuff, and then I do something completely different. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
The world's our oyster.
No, I like doing the reactions. The reactions is fun.
Yeah.
I like doing the reactions, and then I watch the trailer after, because I want to be sincere. I'm not gonna watch it and be like, yeah, first time reaction, come on, check me out. After I did a whole write up on it.
Yeah.
I try to do it. I do it sincerely. I watch it for the first time, and you get my uncut reaction. But watching the Doctor Strange trailer a second time just blew my mind. I'm like, how did I miss all this stuff? Oh,
It's hard.
it's 2.5 minutes that I'm. Yeah, it's 2.5 minutes that I'm trying to take everything in, and
Yeah.
you miss half of it.
That's the thing with the trailer reaction game. Is like you want that initial reaction, but then when you do those replays, you're like, oh, I didn't mention that. I didn't mention this. And that's something I actually like about the cyber nerds, who they got super popular off of a retweet from James Boyega when the original trailer came out for The Force Awakens. He was like, oh, check these dudes out, and they skyrocketed from there. But what they do, the three of them, they'll sit there, they'll watch the trailer, and then the one guy goes, run that shit back. And then they rewatch it in that same reaction. So then they can kind of like take it in, like register it, look for things, and then give their comments after that. So I do like that about them.
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, I don't know if it's spoiling the trailer because everybody's probably seen it already.
Yeah.
But they do the Defender Strange. And I'm like,
Yeah.
who? Like, I'm sorry, but I saw. I was watching Screen Crush. They do like an Easter egg video.
Right.
And those guys probably watch it like 300-400 times. They watch it at quarter speed. And, of course they're catching everything. And they show the still of Defender Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's the same trailer.
Yeah.
We've all watched the same thing? Because I did not see that. I didn't even catch it the first time.
It's true. It's funny too with Screen Rant or Screen Crush. Wait, Screen.
Yeah.
Damn, they're all the same.
Well, this was a Screen Crush video, but it's similar stuff.
Yeah. Whichever one does the pitch meeting is Screen Rant, I think. It's funny that we all think he is that channel, but really there's other stuff on that channel. I had no idea. But with that being said, ladies and gents, it's been a fun episode. We got through the tech difficulties. I get rusty sometimes. There's certain settings that are amateurish for me to mess up, and I mess them up. It's all right. We get through it. Sal, pleasure. We, of course, will be Twitch streaming, as he pointed out. More trailer reactions from him. Sorry, I think the second bourbon's starting to hit. But that's all right. We'll make it through. HeyArcher Live every Thursday at 8:15 p.m. Rambling with Anthony, Snapshot with Sal, HeyArcher vlog series, all sorts of fun stuff happening here at Nerd Affiliated. Merch. That's right. You plug the merch more than I do, and my freaking name's on that thing. Down in the link, nerdaffiliated.com. Pick up some merch. Buy us a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/HeyArcher. And we'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. You gotta say it.
See ya.
I was gonna say, dude, if you don't say it, I'm gonna be mad.
No, that's the catchphrase, man. It's the Twitch handle, it's the catchphrase, it's the PSN handle.
It's everything. It's everything. I'm messing up my buttons here. Hang on. Let's see. Is that it? No, wrong one. That's right. I'm gonna talk through it as I find the buttons. Let's see. It's okay. We'll make it through, everybody. It's cool. Don't worry about it. We're just gonna roll through it. There it is. Bam.
specifically vodka,